Alright, so I gotta try to make a really good thumbnail right now. Position the hand. Smile. It's a good value if you're looking for the short answer. But the long answer, are you a good negotiator? Do you have a ton of RX450Hs nearby? These are some of the questions you might want to ask yourself, because obviously they've got a ton of RX350s and then a decent amount of F Sports. But then once you start changing it up, so you get a hybrid model and then possibly an F Sport of that hybrid model, things start to get a little bit tricky. And by the time that you're done watching this video today, you're going to be an expert on buying or leasing an RX450h F Sport. What is happening, guys? Ari here with Boston Automotive Consulting. Here today because one of my subscribers by the name of Jim Farrow commented asking me to do a video today regarding RX450Hs. First of all, Jim, thank you so much for being a subscriber to the YouTube channel and giving your support. I want to read off the comment that he left. Ari, I really enjoy your videos. Thank you. I used to be a Lexus GS guy, but my last two cars have been leased Lexus RX350s. Wow. I bought out the lease on my current RX350 at the end, and like your GS example, I got a lot of heat. A lot of bad comments and dislikes on that video, but thank you. I got the car for less than what it was worth. Great deal. I am now in the market for an RX450h. As you may know, Lexus is aggressively marketing the hybrid RX models by making the difference in price for the hybrid almost negligible. So there should be others interested in this as well. There are. Please do a video on your strategies for purchasing or leasing one of these 450h models, F Sport if possible. Absolutely. Thanks, Jim. Jim, guys, whoever's watching this video, RX 450s and RX 350s, the only real difference in these two is what I'm about to get to as far as numbers go. But the main difference in driving these numbers is inventory levels. So guys, before I dive right into this video, I want to introduce myself for those of you who are logging on to one of my videos for the very first time. My name is Ari Janesian, and I run a car buying service called Boston Automotive Consulting. We help our clients achieve the very best deals on brand new cars, and the whole goal of this YouTube channel is to give car buyers all the negotiation tips that they need so that they can land the very best deals. So if you haven't already and you enjoy solid how-to videos, especially when it comes to negotiating brand new cars, please consider subscribing. Diving right in, guys. Very interesting. The RX450h, a situation that I was in right before Christmas, a lady approached me regarding the 450 and she was looking for a very particular silver with a red interior, and she was having a hard time finding it until the dealer said, we have one in Maryland, I'll pull it, but what are you expecting for price? And this is where things sort of quickly fell apart for her. Essentially, there's an 8.5% markup on the Lexus RX450h before any rebates. So essentially, if I'm working on, let's say for this video in particular, a $61,084 MSRP 450h F Sport, $55,890 would be my target selling price before rebates. A lot of people, when they negotiate the 450s, they try to get essentially all the money, hold back and maybe a little bit of a loss on the back end for the dealership. And that only really works if they've got an abundant amount of inventory. That may actually work on a regular 450h non-F Sport. But as soon as F Sport gets added to the back, 8.5% off before rebates starts to become like what you should expect as like, this is probably the best I'm gonna do. Go for more anyway. I'm not saying that 8.5% is like the very end, but if your dealership's got a few and you're willing to take something that's in stock, definitely go for more. Essentially what I'm going after is a selling price after rebates of $53,890, and you don't get the promotional APR at 1.9% if you take the $2,000. So if you're planning on putting a big chunk of money down on the car, forego the 1.9% and take the 2K. However, if your credit's not so great and you're depending on the promotional APR, even if they mark it up a tiny bit, play around with the numbers at the different scenarios. Sometimes taking a rebate instead of a low APR may not actually help you. Definitely something to note there. As far as the rebate, the $2,000 that you're getting from Lexus in the form of a rebate is the same $2,000 you'd be getting on an RX350. So you're not getting more of a discount by opting for the 350. In fact, it's the same amount of discount. And the funny thing is, the 450h F Sport that I'm working on is only $1,500 more than the 350 F Sport variant. So realistically speaking, they're not upcharging all that much, like Jim said, just for somebody getting the hybrid model. So definitely some savings to be had when you combine it all with gas savings. And I don't know, maybe your state has some sort of like a tax credit. Not sure, but definitely a solid value there. Just making sure that there's one in stock or plenty around you to help you achieve that type of a deal that you were trying to get on a 350. Now, if you're planning on leasing, here's where the 450h differs from the 350. On a lease, the 450 has a 2% higher residual than the 350. They don't tend to make up the difference by charging a much higher money factor, but they do mark up the money factor a tiny bit. And for example, if a 350 F Sport has a 59% residual with a 0.00055 money factor, the 450h would have a 0.00065 or 75 in some regions money factor. So they do make up a tiny bit in interest, but they keep all the other variables the same. The same amount of lease cash, $2,000 on both trims. And if you opt for a non-F Sport, you lose 1% on the residual. So 61% for 10,000 miles a year for the residual and a 0.00065 money factor. So if I were to go after that 8.5% off of MSRP, basically just getting it for invoice, encouraging you guys to try and get better, but just using those variables for the sake of the calculation, going after 8.5%, deducting $2,000 in Lexus lease cash, and just putting just the inception fees, do it start, like your first payment, acquisition fee, doc fee, etc. And with roughly $2,000 do it start, we're at a little bit over $550 a month. I'll call you right back. I'm doing a video again. Yalla. Including Mass State sales tax. Now, I've done this deal quite a few times on the 350 variant with like 500, say 525 being the goal. So for it to produce back a calculation at 550, Jim, guys, just from a numbers perspective, the residual being decently high, the money factor being decently low, and having some lease cash, 550 is a phenomenal deal when comparing it to like the 500-ish numbers that I was chasing on the regular gas model. So definitely, I appreciate you bringing this up, Jim, because people should know about what the possibilities are on a hybrid. So guys, I hope that this video shed some light as to what a hybrid model would go for. They don't go for all that much. So if you're considering something a little bit more eco-friendly, I don't know what your reasoning is for wanting to get the hybrid. If you're not trying to be eco-friendly, please tell me in the comments, you weirdo. And if it did help and you want to see more of these new car buying and negotiation tip type videos, please consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.